Okay, so I talk about like the issue with rental. It makes it a massive pain in the ass for me, and I guess other people have these issues too. But like in my case, and I think I think I'm really thinking I'm kind of somewhat rare. Somewhat. I mean, I'm one person alone. I don't have mom and dad. I don't have aunts and uncles. I don't have sisters and brothers and cousins and big group of friends and all this other shit around. I don't have any of that. So, for me, and I'm pretty low income. I've been just scraping by on fucking DoorDash, but like, I've seen what at your average jobs pay around here, and it's like, and what they entail, and I think I've maybe been doing better on DoorDash than I would have been doing on, working one of these normal jobs, quite possibly. I go work at a grocery store, work at a fucking restaurant or something, I probably wouldn't be making much more, if any more, than I am now. I guess maybe I would, because I wouldn't be having to piss away so much gas and putting much money into vehicle maintenance, but I don't know. Anyways, I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out how the hell to get out of here, right? Get into some other place. And I guess there's some things I could try to do, right? I could try and go see what kind of resources are available and talk to some people and try to get help to get into some kind of low income apartment somewhere. But like, it's a full-time, it's basically a full-time job trying to get into an apartment. And if you're not in some low income fucking income based place that's government subsidized, which those are hard to get into and have a super long waiting list, but if you don't get into one of those, then you're supposed to have an income of like 3 times the rent, which basically you'd have to be rich. You'd have to be making like around $30 an hour minimum, basically working full time to even like be able to get into a place like that. And then the motels, for the most part, are so jacked up and high cost that, I mean, it's a little bit slightly cheaper option in some instances, but you're still going to end up paying. No, in most instances it's not, but in some, there's a few shady shitholes and little corners here and there where you might be able to work something out to have a place to stay. In some roach-infested shithole, maybe, for you can get a weekly rate, might end up being able to pay, $1,200 a month or something to stay in some tiny roach-infested shithole or something, maybe. Basically, like, that's where we're at now. And they basically made homelessness like illegal, so they can just like arrest you and fucking have you hauled away or something if they want to, right? Just, it's basically a full-time job trying to find an apartment in the first place. And even more so if you're trying to get into some low-income fucking, income-based shit, from what I can tell. And, while I'm sitting around talking to some bureaucrat trying to get help to get into some low-income place, I'm not working because I'm busy fucking sitting there talking to them. So I'm not making any money while I'm doing this. Just to take, or while I'm sitting there scrolling through my phone through thousands of bullshit listings, which make it very difficult to even find anything. There's such an abundance of places listed, and almost all of them are places that only a rich person could afford, basically. Places that only somebody making like 6 figures or something could afford is like the vast majority of apartments or housing of any kind is for people like basically rich people. I'm not gonna lie. I've had some months where I really, I really hit the ground running and then grounded out and made pretty good money some months, but for the most part, most of the time it hasn't been working out like that for me. The majority of days I go out doing to dash, if I'm being honest, before expenses, I'm making maybe $12, $14 an hour most fucking days. Going out all fucking day. And that's just what it usually is like. It's fucking shit. And of course, I gotta pay for my own gas. So say I work 10 hours making fucking 12 or 13, $14 an hour. Let's be generous and say $14 an hour working 10 hours. At the end of the day, I gotta go put another $40 or more worth of that. I have to work 10 hours to do that. If it's not, and that's if it's even a day where it's even that good, because that's not guaranteed. Like, there's days where it's so shitty out where it's better just to not even try, because you can just tell, like, you get to know, like, some days you see the signs and like, they're just gonna fuck with me all day and it's just gonna be shit all day long. Sometimes you sit there in a parking lot for an hour, hour and a half, 2 fucking hours, and no orders come in. You're just getting fucking baked in the sun or freezing your ass off in the cold or whatever, Depending on the weather, you know. Waiting for some order to come in, and then all of a sudden, oh boy, it's an order. $2. Here's your offer. $2 to drive fucking 7 miles one way, 7 miles back. Would you like to... Oh no, you've missed out on a wonderful opportunity. Down go your acceptance ratings because you said no to that. It's pretty shitty a lot of the time, but then sometimes, every now and then, you get some good tippers, That's the difference of whether you're gonna have a good day dashing or a shit day dashing, is if you're gonna get a bunch of stacked orders, stacked real quick. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, the other day, I went and dashed in Sweet Home for... Well, I had the thing running for like 2.5 hours, but in the first hour, I made like $31. Why? Because they stacked me with a bunch of orders that were close by. I did like 6 or 8 deliveries or something real quick in that 1 hour. So I made $30, But then I sat in my car for the next hour and a half, not a single order came in. So I said, fuck it. Like, I could see that they were just throttling me. Sometimes you'll start to do good, and then I think what happens is you just get throttled. There's so many other dashers out there, and we're in the times where it's like all about equity, inclusion, and all this kind of bullshit. So people that aren't doing a good job or something are getting orders because they happen to be logged in or something, basically, and seniority doesn't count for shit. How many deliveries you've done and your ratings don't count really for shit. Doesn't seem to, because they just... I mean... I don't know, man. I'll tell you the honest truth. I mean, I've been trying to fucking work, but like some days I go out, I'll work all fucking day, or I'll work like I've had weeks where I worked all damn week, 5, 6, 7 days in a row, And I basically didn't hardly make any money except just gas money to cover the fucking cost of driving around to deliver the shit to people. I was basically just being a slave all week. I made money, but all that money just went right back into my fucking car to keep going, you know. To buy gas, spark plugs, fucking coil packs, fucking EGR valve, you know. Whatever, right? On and on and on. And I'm rolling around through traffic basically risking my life and, you know, to bring somebody their food for fucking, well, whopping $3-4 a pop or something half the time, right? I tried to turn down most of those shit orders, but sometimes there's just so many of them that come in that it just wrecks your ratings. I really don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be in this town or this specific apartment. I don't want to have to go try and live in my car, and I sure as hell can't do that around here because, like, it's been basically turned into to where you could. It's been like criminalized here, you know, basically, from what I can hear, from what I hear, you know. I try to get out and work, but like I am kind of fucking, you know, disabled basically, man. I've got disorders, man. I don't know, a lot of the like paperwork that I had to back me up from the doctors and stuff is so old that it's in, you know, written in handwriting in some folder somewhere, probably in a box at the bottom of a dusty basement somewhere. Because they didn't used to use computers to type everything in when I was diagnosed with stuff, you know. And I'm sure there's other diagnoses. They would probably diagnose me as a schizophrenic and maybe manic depressive, other various things or whatever. I imagine if I went in and fucking got diagnosed newly or something, but I just, you know, I was diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome, ADHD, obsessive compulsive disorder, social anxiety disorder, and I'm still out, you know, doing this shit. I got all the, you know, but sometimes I get so depressed that I just can't get myself to go out, and you know, I get so stressed out and depressed by the shit going on that I end up falling to a bottle. And it kills me, you know. What really gets me is I'll start going out, right? And I really manage to work myself up into like a frenzy where I have a work ethic and I'm getting up and I start getting up earlier and earlier and I try to go out and I try to work and I try to do the fucking right thing and it just doesn't fucking work out. Just nothing's fucking working out. I'll go out and I'll have a day or two or however many in a row where I'm just out working like a slave for gas money, basically. And it just starts getting worse and worse, and I'm getting my ratings tanked by garbage orders, and it just gets to the point where I just want to give up. I feel like I don't want to waste my time anymore, you know? And I'm thinking, you know, well, shit, I would hang out at the park, but it's so goddamn crowded, I'll just go back to my apartment or whatever, but I feel like it's going to be so damn boring. I want to go out and work, but this situation and my surroundings and just the way things are going just is not allowing me for me to make any goddamn money. So I end up going to the store and buying beer instead. Sitting around and getting drunk, and I feel like an idiot, but it's just the time I don't know what to do. The cost of living so damn high that the way things are going, it's only going to get worse. I really don't see how the fuck I'm going to avoid becoming homeless. How hardly anyone is. We're just going to come to a point where there's, you know, and we're already kind of there. We're already kind of at a point where there's millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of just empty apartments that nobody can afford to live in because they're fucking priced so goddamn high that nobody can afford the rent, and sure as hell nobody's making 3 times the fucking rent, so they can't even get approved to get in there. You know? It's going to get to a point where that's damn near every apartment. There's just going to be all these empty buildings everywhere. You know? That nobody can afford to live in except for the rich people. The people making 6 figures and up, you know? And they'll be barely scraping by at the goddamn... And then the really rich people, well, of course, they got their houses and stuff. I just feel like this is just being completely ignored by society, you know? I'm trying to figure out what to do. I really want to get out of here. I want to move my stuff the fuck out of here and not even stay here another month, but I don't know what else to do. I don't see how the fuck I'm going to get into another place without a miracle. You know, I've got barely over a week left in the month, and I mean, it would... I mean, seriously, if I took off every single day, stayed 100% sober, and spent, like, all the hours of the day just searching and scouring the internet and banging on doors and trying to get into an apartment, a month, 2 months, multiple months could go by, and I still wouldn't be in anywhere. Because that's how much of a fucking massive pain in the ass it is just to get into a fucking place. That's why I even took this place in the first place. I didn't want to fucking be here. I just tossed the application out because I happened to see it. And then I was trying to apply to places in other towns because I wanted to get the fuck out of this town. And then suddenly I got approved here, so it's like, I knew, like, well, better to fucking come here and save money over what I was paying to stay at the motel. Now I'm, like, feeling like I'm just kind of stuck here. Unless I just leave, and then what? In my car or pissing money away on a motel somewhere again. I found some motel that's allegedly would end up being like $1,000 a month, which is a little more than what I'm paying here, actually. But I could probably fucking pull it off. There's the dashing over there, you make money dashing over there. I don't know. Something. I really don't know what to do. You know, I initially applied for a low-income apartment like probably a year and a half ago or more. At the same time I was beating the street. I was going to all these trailer parks trying to buy a mobile home, and there's a ton of them that were empty, but like most of the time it took months to even get a hold of anyone. And by that time they say that nothing's for sale, or most of the places I've still never even heard back from. Tried to call the managers, and the managers just aren't really managing anything. They're off getting high or something. Can't get a hold of anyone. That's why there's all these trailer parks out there that have dozens of empty trailers sitting in them, but you can't fucking buy any of them. You can't get a hold of anyone, I guess they don't like money. I don't know. At the time, I had like fucking almost $30,000 in the bank when I started looking, right? I still had like 30 grand or something, and Now I'm goddamn near next to nothing, you know. There's barely enough to pay the rent here, you know, for another. Maybe I'm sure I could cover the next couple of months or something, but I'm sure I could pull that off, but that's. Then what, you know? Then what? I don't even want to fucking be here, man. As soon as I moved in here and I started running into people from my past, you know, all these people that I was trying to get away from all know where I live and half of them fucking live here, you know? It's like, fuck. I don't know what to do. Like I'm just in a nexus of evil here, man. Kinda. But I don't know, man. The cost of living is so fucking high. Like nobody's making. Most people are not making fucking $25, $26, $30 an hour. Like, and even if they were, they would barely be scraping by, like holding on to some fucking apartment that the cost of living nowadays is so fucking high, it's ridiculous. And they expect you to make 3 times the rent on a place to be approved. And the rent is fucking ridiculous. Like you have to be making like basically you'd have to be making like I don't know $60,000 to $100,000 a year to even be approved for most apartments. That's how bad it is now. Like, and most people aren't making that unless they're working for unless they're got some high level position in a with the state or something. Unless you're a goddamn cop or fucking working for CPS or DMV, mainframe programmer or something. Like, you can't afford this shit. Like, maybe you're I don't know. I mean, the guys who manage, there's dudes around here that are managers of, the manager of the motels that I stayed at. Most of them, they would be homeless in a second if they weren't managing the motel. The only reason they have a room is because it comes with the manager position. Basically, that's their pay for working there, is they get a room, basically. The guy's managing restaurants around here that I see him walking down the street with bedroll and a fucking, backpack with pots and pans hanging off of it. We're in a fucked up situation. Me personally, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I mean, I would I've been thinking about, really thinking about just loading my shit up, getting it to storage, and just leaving in my car to parts unknown or something, just to get out of here. Because I want to get out of here, but I don't want to fucking be homeless. I don't. I don't want to just go choose homelessness. Although maybe, I don't know. I know this isn't a good place for me. I don't fit in this area. And this area is not good for me, see how I'm ever going to get ahead here. And you hear these older people talking about how, oh, you just gotta buckle down, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and all this, you know, it's just, the world just doesn't work that way now anymore, you know? It just doesn't. Not really, I mean, unless you find some kind of, like specialized trade that you can get into or whatever. But again, anything you do where you're not making money, so you can't make the rent. You go do some fucking unpaid internship or something to learn some shit, you're not making the rent, you're fucked. You try to go get into schooling, you don't got money to pay for the goddamn schooling because you don't make enough money doing what you're doing. Well, guess what? You can't afford to go do the schooling and you ain't got time to go do it because you're not making any fucking money. You know? I mean, seriously, for the younger generation, I'd say. Well, I guess if I was being totally honest, I'd say you're fucked. Can give up. No. But no. Really, when you're younger, man, you know, if you got parents that actually give a shit about you and family around you, use that to your advantage. But go out and work and save up as much fucking money as you possibly can. Try and get your credit score as high as you possibly can, as quickly as you possibly can. You know, get a CD loan. You know, you go in, put like $500, $1,000 into a CD, and then you take a loan back out of your own money and you pay it off. That starts to build a credit score. Maybe sometime you buy a new set of tires for your car or something. You take out, you know, try and get credit at the tire place so you make payments on the tires. That'll help build your credit score. You know, other shit like that. I suppose you could try the credit card method. I don't know about that. That's a little tricky. Get prepaid credit card or something, maybe, you know, whatever. Because that credit score fucking matters a lot to the world. I don't know, man. I'm in kind of a shit position. I got all these people basically giving me bad advice, I think, you know, left and right. And I get so stressed out being here, and I feel like I'm not getting anywhere here, to the point where I really do. I just think about packing up and just hopping in my fucking car with some camping gear or something and just hitting the fucking road. Because I don't know how much longer this is going to be sustainable. I don't know how long I can manage to even fucking hold this up, and I don't even want to be here. I don't want to be here. This isn't a good fucking place for me to be. It's basically, you know, I'm surrounded by shit that stresses me out constantly. I'm, you know, surrounded by bad influences. This place is a cesspit, basically. It's like a darkness that infects your soul being here, you know. If I could figure out this damn income-based housing shit, manage to get into something like that, well then for a while I could try to save up some money while I'm working, because they'd only be taking a third of my income. So I could slowly build up some fucking savings to where eventually I'd actually be able to get in someplace or whatever if I had to leave there, you know? But again, to try to apply for this income-based shit, I mean, I don't know what I have to do. I have to go to a doctor and be like, hey doc, let me just come clean with you and watch you scratch down all your fucking new diagnoses in your fucking book here so I can show them to the goddamn apartment place to try and get in or whatever. I don't know. But it could take fucking 6 months, a year and a half. What are you supposed to do in the meantime? Live under a fucking bridge? I guess. So helpful. Be sure to call you up when you're dead. Just about as soon as you're dead, we'll have a place available for you. Oh, fuck. I don't know what to do, man. This last year has been rough on me. I've been managing to, pay my rent and stuff. But man, I've just been barely scraping by, and I already would have been out on my ass if my dad hadn't sent me back some of the money that I gave him, and they sent me a little more recently that helped out, but I would have already been out of here months ago. Maybe I would have been in a better situation now. I don't know. I mean, hell, I don't know. It's possible. Maybe I would have drove a couple states over and found a cheap apartment, or a cheap motel or something for a while. Found some place where I could dash making 25 or 30 bucks an hour instead of fucking $14 an hour. I could have went out and worked and actually fucking saved up some money and maybe got into some place that was cheaper and better, There's places in this country you can rent a fucking house for what I'm paying for this fucked up studio apartment here. This place is a nightmare. I mean this whole town, from what I can see, this whole fucking state, or most of this state, is a nightmare at this point. It didn't used to be. I think it's like this state and several states surrounding it basically just gone down the shitter. What you got here basically is the rich and the dirt poor. And the dirt poor are getting poorer and poorer. And then you got the homeless that are completely, dirt poor. They're just people that are getting fucking, $900 a month in Social Security that can't afford to live anywhere. Or they're getting, $1,000 or more a month in Social Security, but they can't afford to live anywhere because everything's too fucking expensive. So they're just sleeping in the park or something, or living in their car. You know. Or you got like people are working and homeless, or I don't know what the fuck you do without. I don't know what to do, man. Dad talks to me like he has this vision of me having a wonderful life in the future or something. Well, unless he's gonna like leave me some big inheritance, I don't see how the fuck I'm even survive to the goddamn future. I'll ever live to be as old as he is. He's in his fucking just in his like early 70s, but you know I'm 40 years old and shit's going downhill like a snowball headed for hell. I don't see how the fuck I'm gonna make it. Unless I just become some kind of scumbag criminal and just start robbing people or breaking into fucking houses and living there for free or some shit. Yeah. Everything's corrupt. Everything's fucked up. You know? Right? Going to the pen, free room, free board, nigga. Right? Oh, shit. Sick of getting ignored. This world I can't afford. Yeah. No, it's like, it's just everything's too damn expensive, man. Just in the last few years, man, a lot of things have tripled in price. The wages sure as fuck haven't. Cost of living is more than 10 times what it was, 10, 15 years ago. And people are making the same money, if not less, most of the time. You can't afford to live anymore. And I don't know what to do. Honestly, like, things are fucked up over there in Canada. And, laugh at how sick and evil it is over there and the stuff, the way they have, like, the MAID program and stuff, assisted suicide for people who are just depressed and stuff. But when I look at it now, like, thinking about how fucking ridiculously overpriced everything is, how much they're screwing everybody over, how much people are getting robbed, and how they're fucking mistreating the poor and the homeless. It's like, goddamn, at least they have fucking enough mercy to let, to let people fucking die over there, rather than having to live in the shit that they're fucking, this, shithole that they've created where nobody can afford to live. I gotta get out and work more, try to make as much more money as I can. I can see the next month's ridiculous bills, and after that, so on. I don't even want to be here, man. I don't want to be here. This is a bad place for me. It's not a fucking good place. It's a fucking bad place. I can't get ahead here. surrounded by basically bad influences and shit that just stresses me out and puts me in an unhealthy fucking mental state. Basically. Kicks me down into the gutter and fucking keeps me there, basically. I'm struggling, barely fucking getting by. And I can't do this shit, man. I mean, it's pretty simple. If I'm doing, say, DoorDash and running Uber Eats, which I've been doing some days, like, because it's been slow, I try to run Uber Eats at the same time as DoorDash, but there's hardly any orders coming in on Uber Eats, so that barely helps, you know, helps a little bit. I had a day, like, last week where I made like $100, I think, working like fucking 10 hours, and the only or a little over that or something, and the only way I was even able to do that was because I did a couple of Uber deliveries too. If it hadn't been for the Uber deliveries, I wouldn't even made that. And you get so fucking stressed out at the end of the day, it's like, especially you go through the shit day after day after day after day after day. Fucking week of just bullshit, just getting fucked over and getting followed, getting fucked with, getting, you know, having to deal with all kinds of crazy shit, and feeling like you're getting screwed over, you're getting robbed every goddamn day, you're putting in fucking hours of work every day to make next to nothing, and then it's hard not to just want to fucking crawl into a bottle, you know, at the end, because it's just too much, man. I'd like to be able to see a light at the end of the tunnel. I'd like to be able to see greener pastures. You know what I mean? But it just looks very clear that everything's getting worse, not better, and there's no... I don't see where the fuck there's any hope. Where is there hope? Must not, I mean, somewhere else, I guess. In a miracle. Or a fucking series of miracles. We'll talk about younger generations being lazy. Well, I'm not younger generation exactly, but I'm... And hell, I'll be honest, I am sometimes lazy. But that's not what the fuck's going on here, man. Not what the fuck's going on here. There's people working fucking 2 goddamn jobs, still living in their fucking car because they can't afford to rent. I've been screwing up more some because, like, when I do slip up and drink, my body can't take it anymore. I'm not in my fucking 20s anymore. I'm not even in my 30s anymore. My body can't handle fucking going on a fucking binge, drinking for a day or two or something. About puts me out of commission for damn near a week. Just spend my time on the fucking going from bed to toilet or something, feel like I'm dying or something for a few days or a week or something. And then just the emotional, the trauma and the stress and just worrying about things, like, and when I try to think about what to do, that's what really gets me. Like, if I just zone out and stay in the now or whatever, just don't worry about, you know, the only way to keep myself from going fucking nuts, because I start thinking about things, and I am pretty intelligent. I really am, actually. Not in the Forrest Gump fucking, or stupid as this. I guess I'm stupid as far as the stupid is as stupid does kind of fucking thing. But as far as book smarts and knowing shit, smart in that regard. I don't know. Maybe I ought to get a shrimping boat. Alright. I mean, I'd love to report some wonderful miracle that saves me and pulls my ass out of this shit, but I just haven't seen it yet. I guess I could say, I've had luck and I've been able to barely scrape by, but never really able to fucking relax because there's never able to really recover from the trauma and, mourning my mom, the loss of basically my whole family, my home, watching my country fucking go up in flames, basically. Watching the whole world basically go up in flames, watching all these fucking horrendous things happening all over the world. I just sit here and watch this shit knowing I can't really do anything about it, and I don't even feel like I could save myself. I'm in this fucking fucked situation here, man. I just don't know what to do here. I just want to grow a fucking garden and have a farm or something, But that seems so far fucking out of reach. It's like, oh, I just want to fucking build a spaceship and go to the moon, I'm gonna go live on the moon and colonize it. I'm gonna build a giant fucking skyscraper on the moon and live on top of it. I will rule over my new moon empire. It's just like, nah, cause shit is so fucking expensive, it's ridiculous. It's like I want to live, but then sometimes I wish I'd fall asleep and just never wake up so that I don't have to deal with this bullshit anymore. I want things to get better, but I don't know how the fuck they ever will. I mean, I don't know. I'd go up in the woods and set up a big camp somewhere. Or if I had a piece of land and I could be left the fuck alone to do what I want on it, I'd set up a camp there or something and try and get some land close enough to some town. Of course, that would be a fucking bajillion dollars probably to do that. I'd have to get some land that's like 100 miles away from a town anywhere that doesn't have any water or anything, probably. And then I couldn't do my garden or anything. I don't know. I can't do this shit alone, man. Need a fucking girlfriend, wife, really, is what I need. I need something. Maybe two of us combined could deal with the shit. Do a little better than barely scrape by. Level up some, maybe, I don't know. By myself, I don't fucking know what the hell I'm gonna do. I'm just one person. I don't have fucking two pairs of hands to carry shit. I don't have 48 hours in a day to get shit done. I have to sleep and eat and use the bathroom and do all this other shit. And, you know, whatever I have to do takes time out of my day that I could have been spent, that I, you know, could have spent trying to make money, right? Talking right now on this, to make this video, I could have been out dashing instead probably, or trying to do it at the same time. I don't know. I guess I probably could have just been sitting in a parking lot somewhere ranting while I waited for orders to come in that never fucking show up. Maybe. Probably would have had time for that sometimes. Yeah. I'm just getting stressed out and I don't know what the fuck to do. I was ready to go out and work, doing DoorDash, doing Uber, whatever the hell, to make some money. But, I mean, excuse me if I'd like to actually make money for going out all day and fucking putting in effort and time to bring a bunch of people their fucking food. I'm sorry, I would like to be paid for that. I would like to actually make some fucking... I would like to actually earn a living from that so that I could actually be able to pay my bills and shit. I don't do this shit for just to, you know, for the hell of it. It's not like a fucking... it's not like I can enjoy it all that much, you know? It's not like a fucking hobby or something. I'm trying to pay my fucking bills, trying not to end up on the goddamn street, but I don't know how the fuck that's gonna happen. The way things are headed. And I don't see where going and getting a job at a restaurant or pumping gas somewhere or anything is going to make much of a fucking difference in that regard either. Because the cost of living just keeps going up and up. This place that I'm staying in now, paying almost $900 a month, counting the fucking electric bill, used to be $100 a month here. You know? Places like this, just 5-10 years ago, were like $300 a month. And people were making more goddamn money on DoorDash and Uber and shit back then, Postmates and so on. Way more money. Used to be like $4 or $5 fucking base pay plus tips. Now it's like $2 if you're lucky and they don't try to stack you with multiple fucking, garbage orders. I've had them try to stack me with multiple orders at times that could have taken fucking 45 minutes to an hour just to wait for them. And it ended up being like $3 combined. I've had them send me offers for like $7 where it would have been like a fucking 50-mile round trip. Plus probably a half hour to 45-minute wait at a restaurant. And I'm not getting reimbursed for gas or fucking, repairs on my vehicle or anything. Oh, shit. I don't know, man. This shit stresses me out. I'm sick of it. I need to get back out there. I fucking took a break. Laid off the drinking for like 5 fucking days. Went back out to work a couple of days, and then it was just Well, I was working again after like 3 days, but it was just shitty though. It was shitty out. Wasn't making hardly any money. It was getting pretty clear that it was just a waste of my fucking time to be out there roasting in the fucking sun making no fucking money. So it gets to the point where you start to wonder why am I even bothering to get up in the morning? Why am I even bothering to fucking put on my shoes and comb my hair and go get in the fucking car to even turn this fucking shit on if I'm not gonna make any fucking money? I'm supposed to feel good about myself just because I tried? What good does it do to try if you're not getting ahead, if you're not getting anywhere, not making any fucking money? What's the fucking point? You know? So that's kind of where I'm at.